You eat a reasonably healthy diet. You've invested in high-quality magnesium, vitamin D3, and K2 supplements, ones that actually contain the doses they claim. You take the right milligrams at the right time. And by all logic, this should help you maintain healthy levels of these critical nutrients. And if you were deficient, like so many people are, after a few weeks or even months of consistent supplementation, you should start to feel better, right? Less muscle cramps, no more heart palpitations, serious insomnia easing up, fewer migraines, that deep exhaustion finally lifting. But the troubling part, despite doing everything right, you still feel like before. Still anxious, still tired, still waking up in the middle of the night with racing thoughts or pounding heartbeats. So what's going on? Well, little did you know, there are 7 common things you may be eating or doing every single day that can silently block or drain magnesium, vitamin D3, and even zinc and K2 from your body, making your efforts and your money go right down the drain. And this is not a small issue, especially when you consider the critical role magnesium plays in regulating blood pressure, stabilizing blood sugar, maintaining kidney function, and even supporting vitamin D and potassium activity in the body. Yes, you heard that right. Without adequate magnesium, potassium doesn't work properly, and neither does vitamin D, and it's all connected. And believe it or not, I was a victim of this too. I was unknowingly taking something every day that was severely depleting my magnesium and potassium levels, and it completely wiped out the progress I thought I was making. That's why in this video, we're going to break down 7 everyday habits or foods that could be quietly blocking your absorption and reducing the effectiveness of your magnesium, vitamin D3, zinc, and K2 supplementation. We will also discuss how to safely resolve these issues without any hassle. If you're supplementing but still not seeing results, this video could be a game changer. Before we dive in, please give this video a like and subscribe to the channel to help it reach more people who might be struggling with the same hidden issue. Let's get into it. First, gut imbalances. Let's talk about something most people overlook when it comes to nutrient absorption: your gut. You could be taking the best magnesium, vitamin D3, and K2 supplements money can buy. But if your gut isn't functioning properly, your body might not be absorbing much of it at all. One of the biggest culprits is low stomach acid. Now that might surprise you, because when people think of digestion problems, they usually think of too much acid. But in reality, low stomach acid is incredibly common, especially as we age or deal with chronic stress. When stomach acid is too low, your body struggles to break down food properly and release nutrients like magnesium and vitamin K2 for absorption. The Cleveland Clinic actually notes that this condition, called hypochlorhydria, can lead to serious nutrient deficiencies over time. Then there's your gut microbiome, the community of bacteria living in your intestines. A healthy microbiome doesn't just help with digestion. It actually plays a role in how nutrients are absorbed and even how they're activated. For example, vitamin K2 is produced by beneficial gut bacteria. And when your gut flora is out of balance, due to antibiotics, poor diet, or chronic inflammation, you may not produce enough of it. There's also fascinating research showing that vitamin D3 and your gut bacteria have a two-way relationship. Vitamin D affects the health of your microbiome, and in turn, your microbiome can affect how your body uses vitamin D. On top of that, if you have inflammation in the gut, or conditions like leaky gut, your intestinal lining can become damaged. When that happens, even if you're eating all the right things, your body can't absorb nutrients efficiently. Magnesium, in particular, is easily lost when the gut lining is compromised. 2. Phytates in grains and legumes. Now, I know this one might surprise you, and yes, I'm talking about both refined grains and whole grains. Because even though whole grains are often marketed as heart-healthy and nutrient-rich, they can actually do more harm than good when it comes to absorbing essential minerals like magnesium, vitamin D3, K2, and even potassium. Here's the deal. Most grains and legumes contain compounds called phytates or phytic acid. Phytates are known as anti-nutrients because they bind to important minerals in your gut, especially magnesium, zinc, calcium, and iron, and prevent your body from absorbing them. Imagine you're taking your magnesium supplement or eating magnesium-rich foods, But right alongside that, you're having a bowl of oatmeal or a slice of whole grain bread. The phytates in those grains can literally trap that magnesium and carry it right out of your body before it ever gets absorbed. And it doesn't stop at magnesium. Phytates can interfere with enzymes in your digestive tract that are essential for breaking down food properly and absorbing vitamin D3 and K2, both of which are fat-soluble and rely on proper digestion to be utilized by your body. Now, here's something a lot of people don't realize. Whole grains can be even worse in terms of phytate content. Refined grains may have fewer nutrients, but they also tend to have fewer anti-nutrients. That's why, in many cases, completely avoiding grains, both refined and whole, is the best choice if you're trying to restore your mineral levels and actually feel the benefits of your supplements. And if you've ever eaten a high-carb grain, heavy meal, especially close to bedtime, you may have noticed something strange. Your heart pounding in your ears while trying to sleep. That's not just anxiety or normal digestion. It could be a sign that your magnesium and potassium levels have taken a hit and your nervous system is overstimulated as a result. Magnesium and potassium are critical for keeping your heart rhythm steady and your muscles, including your heart, calm and relaxed. When your mineral stores are low and you dump in a load of carbs and phytates, the depletion can happen fast. I've heard from people who said they started having heart palpitations or muscle cramps after switching to a whole grain diet, thinking they were doing something good for their body. But once they cut out grains and focused on mineral-rich foods without the anti-nutrient load, they started to feel a real difference. Deeper sleep, less anxiety, steady energy, and even clearer skin. Calcium overload. Now, you've probably heard that calcium is essential for strong bones and healthy teeth. That part is true. But what most people aren't told is that taking too much calcium, especially from supplements, can actually compete with and block your body's ability to absorb magnesium, which is just as critical for your bones, your heart, your nerves, and your overall health. Here's why this happens. Calcium and magnesium share the same absorption pathways in the small intestine. Think of it like a single-lane bridge. They both need to cross it to enter your bloodstream. When you flood your system with calcium supplements, that bridge becomes crowded with calcium, and magnesium gets pushed aside. Your body can only absorb a limited amount of these minerals at one time, and excessive calcium essentially bulldozes magnesium out of the way. And it's not just about absorption. High calcium levels in your blood, especially when not properly balanced with magnesium and vitamin K2, can actually trigger calcium deposits in the wrong places, like your arteries, kidneys, or joints. This is called calcification, and it's a big reason why more researchers and functional medicine doctors are urging people to be cautious with calcium supplementation. Several studies have looked into this. A 2012 paper published in the British Medical Journal showed that people who took calcium supplements without balancing it with magnesium or K2 had a higher risk of heart attacks compared to those who got their calcium from food. British Medical Journal, 2012. Why? Because that calcium wasn't being properly absorbed or directed into the bones. It was getting deposited in the arteries instead. Another important point is that dietary calcium from food sources doesn't seem to carry the same risk. When you eat calcium-rich foods, like leafy greens, e.g. kale, bok choy, sardines, almonds, or sesame seeds, your body absorbs it slowly, along with other naturally occurring nutrients like magnesium, phosphorus, and trace minerals that help regulate its use and storage. These foods contain a balanced mineral profile, unlike isolated supplements that deliver a megadose of calcium all at once, throwing your internal balance off. Low healthy fats. Here's something almost no one tells you, but it could make or break your vitamin D3 and K2 results. You might be buying high-quality supplements, taking them every day, and even following the recommended dosage. But if you're not pairing them with the right type of meal, specifically one that contains enough healthy fats, your body might barely be absorbing them at all. The reason is simple. Vitamins D3 and K2 are fat-soluble. That means they need dietary fat to be properly absorbed and transported into your bloodstream. If you're taking them with just water, fruit, black coffee, or a fat-free breakfast, there's a good chance most of those nutrients are just passing right through your system, wasted. The good news? Fixing this is easy. You just need to take your D3 and K2 with foods that contain healthy fats, like avocados, whole eggs, especially with the yolks, olive oil or avocado oil, fatty fish like salmon or mackerel, or even a handful of nuts. One clinical study published in the Journal of the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics found that people who took vitamin D with a high-fat meal had 32% higher absorption compared to those who took it with a low-fat meal source. And vitamin K2 is no different. It travels through your bloodstream with the help of fats. So when you skip healthy fats, you risk missing out on the benefits of K2, which include preventing calcium from building up in your arteries and instead shuttling it into your bones and teeth, where it belongs. Excess sugar and soda. You might be surprised to hear this, but that daily soda or sweet treat could be silently draining your magnesium, potassium, and even blocking vitamin D3 from doing its job. When you consume excess sugar, especially from soda, it spikes your insulin levels. And that sudden spike forces your kidneys to flush out key minerals like magnesium and potassium through your urine. Over time, this leads to depletion, even if you're supplementing. Plus, studies show that high sugar intake increases inflammation and oxidative stress, which can interfere with vitamin D metabolism and reduce how effectively your body uses it. And here's the kicker. Phosphoric acid in sodas not only weakens bones, but also competes with calcium and magnesium absorption. So that fizzy drink you enjoy with lunch, it could be undoing your supplement routine without you realizing it. Certain medications. Did you know that some of the most common medications could be silently draining your nutrient levels, even if you're eating right and taking supplements? Take proton pump inhibitors, for example, like omeprazole or lansoprazole, which are often used for acid reflux. These drugs lower stomach acid, and while that may relieve heartburn, it also blocks the absorption of magnesium and other minerals that require acid to be properly absorbed. Then there are diuretics, often prescribed for high blood pressure. These water pills may help manage fluid retention, but they also flush out potassium and magnesium through urine, leading to cramps, fatigue, and even heart rhythm issues. And let's not forget certain antibiotics and steroids, which can interfere with how your body processes vitamin D and can deplete magnesium over time. Even oral contraceptives have been linked to lower magnesium levels. So if you've been supplementing for weeks or months and still feel off, think brain fog, anxiety, muscle twitches, or trouble sleeping, it might not be your supplements. It could be your medication blocking your progress. Always talk to your doctor, of course, but understanding how meds can interfere with nutrient absorption is a critical piece of the health puzzle most people overlook. This is another reason why you should avoid chronic stress as much as you can, because it creates a vicious cycle. When you're under constant stress, your body burns through magnesium like crazy. That's because magnesium is used to regulate your nervous system, calm your muscles, and help your brain cope with pressure. But the more stressed you are, the faster your magnesium stores deplete. And here's where it gets worse. Low magnesium levels actually make you more sensitive to stress. You might start feeling more anxious, more on edge, and even struggle with sleep or palpitations. So now you're stressed, which lowers magnesium, and low magnesium makes you feel even more stressed. That's the cycle. But it doesn't stop there. Chronic stress also increases cortisol, your main stress hormone. High cortisol can interfere with vitamin D metabolism and even reduce the activity of enzymes that convert inactive vitamin D into its active form, meaning your D3 supplements might not be doing what you think they are. Plus, stress affects your gut health, and that impacts how you absorb vitamin K2 and potassium, two other nutrients your body relies on for heart, bone, and brain health. That's it. Before you make any changes to your supplements or medications, please consult with a qualified healthcare provider, especially if you're dealing with ongoing symptoms or health conditions. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more eye-opening, science-backed health tips like this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.